for Canada is Dima Jilkin on this top line for Canada, along with J.C. Lemieux and the centerman Adam Valentini, and moved up by Oli Rolos. Rolos back down to the Canadian zone and watched closely by more than 100 scouts who are here already. There's that quick shot score from Beckham Edwards, and the scouts got a quick taste of his scoring touch as he strikes 58 seconds in to give Canada a 1-0 lead.
Quickly off the stick, no setup, no read for the goaltender. That's what good goal scorers do. They find a way to get into the dangerous area, and they get that shot off without giving the goaltender a chance to get set. And you don't score 25 goals as a 16-year-old in the Ontario Hockey League by accident. You have to have skill.
Number 2 rookie points in the Ontario League last year from Kamoka on dance there on the rush for Alessandro Diorio. Set up by Landon Dupont, the youngest player in this.
His brilliance belies his age, Gord, with Landon Dupont. I was at a game last year in Everett early in the season. I've watched Landon play coming up. I'm watching the games.
And here's Dupont. Long point shot goes off a stick and high. Dupont was the Western League and Canadian Hockey League Rookie of the Year last year. The second Western Hockey League player to be granted exceptional points. The Cole, Alberta native sends it down.
Alan Laurie had 4 goals in a pre-tourney game versus Sweden, to just kind of give you a little indication of his talent level.
Swedes are in action against Germany this hour. Charles, and brought back out by Latikainen. And icing called against Canada.
We were talking about the Ruck twins, and
Western Hockey League Defenseman of the Year. Now steal by J.C. Lemieux, moving in, and Lemieux turned away by Gammals. Now Gammals punches that away. The puck is chopped back out. Quickly ahead to Adam Valentini. Spent last year with the Chicago Steel of the United States Hockey League. Feeds that back to Lynn. And that shot by Ryan Lynn is turned away by Gammals. Flip back across by Dima Jilkin. And from a sharp angle, Dupont with a shot.
J.C. Lemieux, he's quick and he's fast. He puts pressure on opponents. Takes a
difficult results at the World Junior under 18 level in recent years. They did get to the gold medal game of last year's World Junior, but the other concern for them has been turning out top prospects.
That's why they've had trouble winning international tournaments. The skill level has really dropped. They still play a really good, connected team game. They're competitive. They're smart. Hard to win against good teams when you don't have the skill level to match.
Walrus lost that puck for a moment. And a bump back by Vilmer Kallio. His dad, Tommy Kallio, spent 3 years in the NHL, mostly with Colorado.
Selected by Atlanta in the expansion.
Draft eligible prospects for next year's draft. There's a quick shot there from Lawrence. Rebound, score!
Recognizing that there's an opportunity and trying to create an advantage, and he gets right into the net area, and the puck lays there, and he's decisive. He's on his toes, and good live shot. And Ty Lawrence, he is such a good player. Big key part of Muskegon winning USHL championship last year. In fact, he was the...
So he'll be a 17-year-old freshman the entire season. 18-year-old freshmen are rare in college hockey. 17-year-olds are almost unheard of. But that's a major story in the offseason in hockey, the number of junior-age players. High-end offensive defensemen. He and Landon Dupont were the first 16-year-old defenseman to record 50-plus. Valentini headed to Kitchener of the Ontario League next year, and then the University of Michigan the year after that.
We're not able to play in the CHL, and if we were still playing Junior A.
Now a steal by Lemieux with that breakaway earlier. Jason Lemieux taken down in the corner. And Valentini moves that back at the line, held by Chartrand. That long shot is gloved. Some 12-year-old sitting at home watching this is going to get drafted by Kitchener 3 years from now. Now that poked away. Now on the forecheck, Diorio forced that free for Canada for a moment. Bouncing puck in front. And Alessandro Diorio couldn't quite reach it. And now a penalty coming to Diorio. Got the stick in there. And the Finns are going to the power play for the second time. And finally touched up by Diorio and Towns.
They join an organization. Like for example, you play for TPS in Turku. You start out when you're 12, and then you just continue.
Step it all. Dupont flips that back in, and Gammals out to play it. Mario's back out.
It ramps up for the U20, and then the NHL is a whole different level. And if you can't play at pace, you're not going to have success. And that's what a lot of these players have to learn as they go up the levels.
Pantelis with a long point shot that goes wide. Now, Dima Zhilkin with it. Back to Jorgis Pantala. Pantelis puts that wide. Now back at the point. Long point shot taken by Carson Karls. Deep Texas, but the Dallas Stars have a core of terrific Finnish players.
Hlinka's a suburb of Texas. Adi Väisänen, when I was with the Stars, I mean, one of the great scouts, one of the great European scouts. What he did for the Edmonton Oilers, key part of the success the Stars had.
Now move back, and that centering pass by Belchez just missed. Ethan Belchez of the Windsor Spitfires of the OHL. Moves back in. He's 6'4", 228 pounds as a 17-year-old.
I think you're selling him short, Gord. He might be a little bit taller and bigger than that.
I'm going with what they measured him at, so. Liam Ruck takes the return pass from Diorio. Moves it back in, and Diorio just missed on a sweet pass back from Liam Ruck.
Anybody at home watching, if you want to see how a play gets into a scoring chance, watch Keaton Verhoff below the goal line make a little back pass behind him that starts the breakout.
Now Preston walks it in, shoots. Good stop there by Gammals. On to Mathis Preston. Slides it ahead to Carson Karls. He's taken down. Karls rolls that through the crease. Preston tied up along the body. Gold medal game takes place on Saturday. What a move in there by Belchez. And that went just wide.
Big player development.
Chartrand slides it back in. Belchez back with it, centers it. Puck loose back in the corner for Lawrence. Ty Lawrence back at the point for Dupont. Chartrand's shot was blocked. Dupont shaken up on a late hit there as Lawrence comes busting in. Ty Lawrence centers it. Loose puck for Belchez. That's turned away in tight by Gammals. By Batts. Back the other way comes Belchez. Drops it back for Zhilkin. Verhoff was shaken up behind the plate for Canada as well. In the final minute now of the opening period.
Ethan Belchez, you watch a guy that just turned 17 in March, and you watch the skill, and he is still raw. 2-2.
Shots are 14-13 Canada. Lynn turned away there. As the puck bounces back to Karls. Walked in, that shot fired wide by Edwards. And Lynn. Back down to Liam Ruck in the dying seconds here of the opening period. And Liam Ruck winds back in and shoots. That's punched away by Gammals. Bouncing puck in the high slot. And time expires. Canada has the J.C. Lemieux busting in with Valentini. Works in. The centering pass is broken up. Now rolls through the crease. And Lemieux slides that back at the point, but the pass is up. Backhanded back in by Zhilkin, who plays for Saginaw in the Ontario League. Number 3 in rookie points. He was in the OHL last year. Rudolph. Long wrist shot skips wide. And Lemieux back on it. Center that. And Liam Ruck had it skip away from him. Verhoff steps up. Works that free with Belchez. Verhoff shoots, rebound, he gets it right back, rebound, score! And the bouncing puck in front. Skip to the lead with another early goal, a minute 9 seconds in.
Well, we talk about Verhoff, and Verhoff reads that play right outside the blue line, disrupts it, follows it, and then makes a play to the net. And all Liam Ruck has to do is just tap it into the net. But that's just a little bit of the display of the way that Keaton Verhoff takes control of the game. He takes control everywhere on the ice in all situations. That's why he's a brilliant young prospect.
Look at us with their palms up raised. What are they looking at? No goal.
Yeah, I'd like to hear the definition of this.
And Ty Lawrence comes busting in. Lawrence shoots, and that's gloved up. Unless he takes them both. And it does look like Lawrence is going to go along with Elias Uronen for this.
Line out here, they're going to still get no shots.
We mentioned that Verhoff is going to North Dakota as a 17-year-old freshman. He actually accelerated his high school studies and finished a year early.
We saw that with Zach Werenski, Noah Hannafin, Sasha Boumedienne, who was the Winnipeg Jets' first-round draft pick last year. He did that.
Tenerife Lemieux after it. In comes Lemieux shorthanded. JC Lemieux pulls that back around, and the puck just skipped away. Preston stepped back on the ice after serving his minor penalty, or the minor penalty to Lawrence. The teams are back to 5-on-5. This pass ahead by Dupont. Finds Russo, shoots, and that's knocked away by Gammals. Who's to the side of the goal. Gammals has lost his goal stick, trying to glove the loose puck. That back in front and picked off by a long point shot, pulled back across. Initial shot by Pantelis was stopped. 205-pound 16-year-old. Didn't turn 17 until September 3rd, so he'll just make the cutoff for next year's draft. Valentini. It's back down to Zhilkin.
Closing in and around the net. Russo making contact with the goaltender. Gammals loses his stick. And
second time he's lost his stick.
Yeah.
Carls. Slides back in. There's in the corner for Ollie Walrus. Williams centers it. That skipped away from Fitzgerald, who drops it back down behind the finish goal. Now loosen the side of that to jam away at it. And Cooper wins it back across to Dupont. Moved back around by Gammals. Ty Lawrence winds in. Back after is Lawrence. Here's that back in the corner. Belchez throws that back for Chartres.
Shot defenseman in this game. So you're asking some of the right shot defensemen.
In comes Preston. That centering pass knocked away. In the arena from condensation. Off the draw. Zhilkin, a shot turned away. Gomer Kallio has his three attempt knocked down by Carls. Chip back around to Williams, feeds it back, and a great stop there on Lynn by Gammals. Valentini spins back along the boards. Valentini risks it back in. Looks down to Zhilkin. The Prince George in the Western League. Carls jumping back in, rolls.
He is keep progressing and put yourself to the next levels preparing.
There's Pantelis. That shot goes off a skate. And chipped back in by Fitzgerald. Colin Fitzgerald plays for his hometown Peterborough Petes in the Ontario League. That pass hooked across by Marcus Ruck. Back to Verhoff. Slides it back in front. The shot taken by Russo was blocked. With a couple of question marks on defense, if Matthew Schaefer and Zane Perek make their NHL clubs, there might be room for some of these underage players to play for Team Canada at Christmas time. Lawrence rolls that wide. Picked back up by Preston. Preston winds across, feeds across. That's hooked wide. Now it's Valentini, Belchez, Zhilkin, and two defensemen on the power play. Verhoff along with Dupont. Although they score like forwards.
Yeah, they do.
Verhoff moves in the corner, back to Valentini. Valentini bangs that back to Zhilkin. Still loosely.
It's easy for me to project him as a #1 pillar defenseman in the NHL.
Here's Dupont back with it. Centering pass for Zhilkin. Bounces back to Dupont. Valentini to Dupont. Rink wide to Verhoff. Shoots, that's blocked. Rebound loose in front. Zhilkin battling for it. Verhoff gets it back for Valentini. To Verhoff. To Valentini. Final seconds now. The Canadian power play. Verhoff threads it back in front. That's tipped wide by Zhilkin. 3 shots for Canada on the power play. Remains a 2-2 tie. Verhoff spins it back down for Dupont. This power play unit tired now. And K.O. will race for the puck. Diorio gets in there. Looks back for Edmonds with a shot. Rebound. And
offense, and I think that Alessandro Diorio is a great example of that.
one of 5 Canadian players who won gold at the IHF Under-18 tournament last spring. And the difference in the spring Under-18 tournament is a number of the Canadian players are still busy with
Tom Potter with the U.S. It's a little bit of a benefit there that we don't see. So when you have 17-year-olds playing in the NCAA, they can also find their way to the U18.
By Lawrence on a forecheck, trying to work that free. Knocked down by Alalori. Plays for, breaks it back out. In comes Preston. Mathis Preston with a shot was off the end of the glove of Gammals. This has Liam Ruck with him. In comes Preston on a move, shoots. And Gammals might have got Lynn with a lead pass. Finds Zhilkin with a shot. Gammals to stop on that.
And we're going to be serious about drafting. It can be an impact player at the NHL level.
Belchez steals that clearing attempt, drops it back. And Diorio had it taken away. Now Diorio back on it.
The understanding, the awareness, it's just off the charts with Verhoff.
6'3" right-handed G. There might be spots on the blue line for Canada for a 17-year-old player.
Don't forget about Sam Dickinson.
Right.
Sam Dickinson is that's a trio of players that could be. Listen, keep Verhoff's
back up by Rudolph. Loose puck in front, short-handed is Edwards with a chance that just rolled off his stick. 30 seconds to go on the finished power play.
Of how the players are going to respond to different situations. Despite having a couple of pre-tourney games, everybody's learning.
Liam Ruck. Verhoff able to hold the line. Back across for Karls. Inside a minute to go here in the period. On the 4th, the time winding down the period. Head back across the lid with a chance score.
There's an opportunity to jump into the attack and create an opportunity. You see him right at the top of the screen, and the pass is laid across just perfectly. Belchez going to the front of the net, and just a beautiful pass by Adam Valentini, and right off the pass, wired. Gammals has no chance.
Takes it right back. Belchez moving in. And the puck didn't get back to him as Gilles crossed to Rudolph. One of those right-hand shot D-men for Canada. Rudolph, the first overall pick of the 2023 Western League Draft. And from a sharp angle, Lawrence has that knocked away. The puck skipped high. Now brought back in by Lawrence. And Lawrence shoots. That's knocked away by Gammals. What's scoring the goal?
Well, goals can change your mood pretty quickly.
At 53 points in 6, when and one better. 60 points is a 16-year-old, or 15-year-old rather. Now Dupont, long shot that got deflected, and Gammals.
Probably the 2014.
Marcus Ruck in the high slot for the trailer. Rudolph hit the goalpost. Great look there for Dax, and Rudolph rang it off the pipe. Rudolph back with it. Return pass for Diorio. Tied up by Savanto. And this Ernan, along with his twin brother Anthony on this team. Their older brother Thomas was a 6th-round pick of Vegas. Won a silver medal at last year's World Junior Championship. Here's Lynn walking in. Shoots. That's knocked away by Gammals. Rebound loose in front. It trickled back down to the finish.
Things that should be a concern.
Centering pass now for Ruck moving in. And Marcus Ruck turned away point blank by Gammals.
Nice pass by Cooper Williams, recognizing that Ruck was wide open.
But further, 5 of the top 6 were Canadians in last year's draft. And pretty good chance at least the top 2 are from Canada this year as well. Verhoff. McKenna will go 1. And this guy, Verhoff, is a pretty strong contender to go 2.
Well, you're going to see a heck of a player from Sweden, Ivar Stenberg,
right,
who's phenomenal. He'll have a say in this. Belchance will have a say.
In comes Lynn. And Lynn finally brought back the other way for Zhilkin. A chance, scores! Dima Zhilkin. After a good start.
Puck gets turned up quickly by Verhoff, and Zhilkin's ready to get the puck directed towards the net. Slips it under the pad of Gammals, and all you have to look at is the reaction of Gammals to know, yep, I should have had that one.
In fact, the Slovaks will take on the United States as that shooting goes over the glass and out of play. A good club team. We mentioned Kometa Brno won the Czech Extra League this past season. They ended the 5-in-a-row run by Trinec as the Czech League champions.
Martin Necas is from Brno.
Yeah.
And he was the captain of Team Czechia when they won the Hlinka Gretzky tournament.
2016. Dupont slides it back across to Chartrand. Now the long shot goes wide. Lawrence back after it.
They beat USA. Canada was not able to get to the... So many other things that come into play. And I think the example is right there again in the Czech Extra League.
The goal and assist in the game so far today. As the captain makes his presence felt. And here's Williams with it. Cooper Williams will join Verhoff at North Dakota in 2027. Valentini chips it ahead, looking for Liam Ruck. Mentioned the Ruck brothers won a Western League championship with Medicine Hat this past year.
And I know we talk about Keaton Verhoff going to the NCAA, but you know, Macklin Celebrini very well may have played in the Western Hockey League for a couple of years. Jonathan Toews may have played in the Western Hockey League with this type of option. Cale Makar. So it cuts both ways.
Alan Laurie off and sit down the ice. 50 seconds to go in this Finnish power play. You wonder if the Finns might pull the goaltender here late in this power play, trying to get one to draw within one. Right now, Ty Lawrence has the puck back for Canada. Latikainen.
Pipparainen. We're looking at 3 first-round draft picks. And Savanto might find his way into that group, too. It'll be a good draft year for the Finns.
So now back to a 1-goal game. That sharp angle shot by Belchez is turned away. Belchez works it free again. Tried the Michigan. Scramble draw control by Canada. Belchez on it. Good comes in to help out. At the line, that was knocked down by Rudolph and played back in. Here's Belchez back with it. Zhilkin chips it back around. Waiting for it is Savanto. Tied up by Valentini. There's been a clinic of puck possession by Canada here in the offensive zone to prevent the Finns from getting in the offense. Inside 3 to go here in the 3rd period.
And against the top line for Finland. And how do you check and put a good line on the defensive? Keep largely due in part to giving that top trio a little bit of a rest on the bench. So if he pulls the goal, he's got his top line out there.
Inside 2 to go in the 3rd period. Kallio knocks that down, plays it across for Latikainen. Banks it back around to Alalori. Time expires. Canada grabbed it.